Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Learning Nails and Aesthetics. We are in the Milady Cosmetology book, Chapter 16, Hair Coloring, continuing page 625. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, as well as check out my other videos on aesthetics and nails. The Milady Foundations book is a companion book to all of those, so that one is a must. Keep in mind, I am not AI, so mistakes will be made. Natural-based and metallic hair colors. Natural-based and metallic hair colors generally are not used in the salon. Even so, you should still be familiar with these products, since you will have clients from time to time that use natural-based or metallic hair colors at home. Natural-based hair colors. Natural-based hair color, also known as vegetable dye hair color, use various herbs, flowers, nutshells, and even certain mosses to pigment hair. Some use developer to enhance the results. Henna is a plant-based dye obtained from the leaves, bark, and roots of the henna shrub, also called a tree. It is considered a permanent natural hair color. Hennas do not use developer and cannot lighten natural hair color. Pure, authentic henna is only available in one color, burnished red-orange. All other colors have been mixed with or entirely replaced by other substances that may or may not be safe for humans. Compounding this potential problem is these ingredients may not be listed on the label. Metallic hair color. Metallic hair color, also known as progressive hair color, contains metallic salts that change hair color gradually. They treat the hair with a progressive buildup of hair color, resulting in a dull, metallic appearance. Metallic hair dye tends to be flat, matte, with little reflection. These products require frequent applications and historically have been marketed to men. The main problems are unnatural-looking hair colors, a limited range of available colors, and the inability to have their to have other chemical services once a metallic hair color has been applied. Metallic hair color products contain alkaline derivative dyes. If performed in the salon, a patch test is required. Caution: do not use oxidative hair color on hair treated with a metallic hair dye. If you do, the hair could swell, heat up, emit a chemical vapor resembling smoke, and damage the hair. This includes some hennas that have been manipulated to create hair colors outside of their natural red-orange hue. If you are not sure if metallic hair dye has been used, perform a strand test. Did you know? Clients who have applied natural hair color products or those containing metallic salt to their hair may be distressed to learn that many traditional hair color products cannot be applied over these products. Pre-treating with fillers and tonal correction. When hair is highly damaged, is extremely faded, or has a history of rapidly fading after a hair color service, ensure the existing hair color has the necessary balance of contributing pigments. If the hair has any of the above conditions, consider pre-treating the hair with a filler, a product that fills the hair with strength, moisture, and underlying pigments. Conditioner fillers recondition and equalize porosity on damaged hair. They condition, strengthen, help extend hair color longevity, and make the hair color formulation cover hair evenly from scalp to ends. Color fillers equalize porosity and deposit color molecules in one application to provide a uniform contributing pigment. Regardless of why the hair needs to be filled before applying a hair color, the goals are always to provide a layer of balanced contributing pigments that support the desired finished hair color. As a general rule, if you are going 3 levels or more darker, or are dealing with a level 9 or 10 blonde that needs to be toned, use a color filler. Color fillers accomplish the following goals. Prepare the hair for receiving hair color by replacing missing color molecules, contributing pigments. Prevent streaking and dull appearance. Prevent off-color results. Produce more uniform, rich hair color results. Produce uniform color when coloring pre-lightened hair back to a deeper hair color. Check in. Explain the classification of the 2 non-oxidative hair colors. Briefly describe each classification of oxidative hair color. Describe natural-based and metallic hair colors. What are the 2 types of fillers? What do they do? Learning objective number 6. Detail the roles of hydrogen peroxide and ammonia in a hair color formula. Hydrogen peroxide and ammonia. Every oxidative hair color requires oxidizing and alkalizing agents to change natural hair color. Oxidation is achieved by mixing the hair color formula with hydrogen peroxide. Alkalinity is achieved by including ammonia or an ammonia substitute during the manufacturing process. Due to the pH of ammonia, hair coloring and lightening services can alter the hair's texture and curl pattern. Hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, is an oxidizing agent. When mixed with an oxidative hair color, it supplies the necessary oxygen gas inside the cortex to develop the color molecules and change the natural hair color. Hydrogen peroxide on its own can open the cuticle and shift the natural hair a level. Without the color agent, however, it will expose the hair's undertones and can leave the hair brittle. In terms of hair color, hydrogen peroxide is commonly referred to as a developer, oxidizing agent, or catalyst, with developer being the most common salon term. This is because it is combined with other agents and buffers to prevent hair damage and work better with the hair color products. Developers have a pH between 2.5 and 4.5. Keep in mind that there are different forms of peroxide. Number 1. Clear liquid developers make it easy to apply the product from an applicator bottle. Because they are liquid, they require application control to not drip in the client's eyes. Number 2. Cream developers make a thicker creamy consistency for a bowl and brush application. Cream developers add conditioning agent to support the hair's integrity. Number 3. Dedicated developers by hair color companies are used with their proprietary hair color products. You must know if dedicated developers contain specific ingredients not intended to be mixed with certain products. Using the wrong developer can result in damage or uneven color. Developer volumes. The volume measures the concentration and strength of hydrogen peroxide. In hair color products, the lower the volume, the less lift is achieved. The higher the volume, the greater the lift. Table 16-2. Most permanent hair color products use 10 negative, 20 negative, 30 negative, or 40 negative volume hydrogen peroxide for targeted lift and hair color development. In lightener products, the lift is determined by the lightener itself, and the speed is determined by the developer used. Developers do not work the same as lighteners, as they do. Let's back up. Developers do not work the same in lighteners as they do in permanent hair color. Developer volumes in lighteners strengthen the chemical reaction and can severely damage the hair. Manufacturer's instructions will tell you the maximum volume of developer that can be used with the lightener product. Table 16-2, hydrogen peroxide volume and uses. 10 volume, 3% hydrogen peroxide. Used to develop hair color or when little or no lift is desired. To enhance a client's natural hair color. Also used with lightener for gently lifting when bleaching hair. 20 volume, 6% hydrogen peroxide. Standard volume provides 2 levels of lift. Used to achieve most results with permanent hair color. Used for complete gray coverage due to gray hair resistance. Also used with lightener for a standard lift when bleaching hair. 30 volume, 9% hydrogen peroxide. Lightens up to 3 levels while depositing color with permanent hair color. Can also be used with lightener for a stronger lift when decolorizing hair. 40 volume, 12% hydrogen peroxide. Up to 4 levels of lift, lightening, with standard high lift hair color. Provides maximum lift in a one-step color service. Can be used with lightener for a strong lift when bleaching hair, but is not recommended for most hair due to possible damage. Higher volumes. Developers with much higher peroxide percentages are available, but most hair color manufacturers strongly discourage their use as they can easily destroy the hair and are not recommended under any circumstances. Caution. Hydrogen peroxide should be stored in a cool, dry place with the cap tightly sealed. For accurate results, carefully follow the manufacturer's guidelines for mixing and processing. Always wear gloves while handling hydrogen peroxide. Ammonia and ammonia substitutes. Ammonia is an alkaline agent that raises the pH of the hair colorant. This action opens the cuticle to allow dye molecules to enter the cortex where hair coloring takes place. It also opens the hydrogen peroxide action of dispersing the melanin that resides within the cortex. The amount of ammonia added to hair color varies, with demi-permanent hair colors having far less ammonia or ammonia substitute than high lift tints. Focus on. Several oxidative hair color brands on the market claim to be ammonia-free and have a less intense odor. Although these claims are true, it does not mean that these hair color brands do not contain an alkalizing agent. The most common low odor alkalizer for hair color is ethanolamine, commonly called monoethanolamine or MEA. Despite marketing claims to the contrary, these alkalizing agents are not necessarily less damaging to the hair than ammonia is. As with many chemicals associated with salon services, the importance of safely handling hydrogen peroxide and ammonia when mixing or applying hair color should never be ignored. Whether the oxidative hair color line you use has ammonia or is ammonia-free, some of the same negative health risks are present for both, including irritation to the nasal passages, throat, and lungs. Always apply hair color or lighteners in a well-ventilated area and wear protective gloves at all times when handling or touching the hair color and lightener. If you have asthma or other breathing conditions, always wear a medical-grade mask when working with oxidative hair color. Always follow the manufacturer's directions. They have tested and created the chemical products for safe professional use. Using them incorrectly or not as intended can give unpredictable results and potentially cause harm. Check in. How does hydrogen peroxide developer work in a hair color formula? What role does ammonia play in hair color formulations? Learning objective number 7. Explain the role and action of hair lighteners. Lighteners. Lightener, also called bleach or decolorizer, is a chemical compound that lightens hair by dispersing and decolorizing the natural hair pigment. As soon as hydrogen peroxide is mixed into the lightener, it begins to release oxygen, a process known as oxidation. Oxidation occurs within the cortex of the hair shaft. This process decolorizes the natural melanin. The lift is determined by the lightener chosen, and the developer determines the strength and speed. Lighteners have a higher pH than permanent hair color. The alkalinity is closer to the strength of perms and mild relaxers and must be used with caution. Lighteners have the strength to alter the hair texture by eroding the cuticle layer and causing curl reduction. The hair's condition prior to service determines what can be achieved. Caution. Hair that is level 6 or darker should never be lifted past the palest yellow stage, the lightness of the inside of a banana peel. When lightening to white, hair fiber breaks down, causing it to feel brittle when dry and mushy when wet, and have little to no elasticity, which causes breakage. Lightener breaks down the hair fiber by eroding the cuticle and depleting the proteins inside the cortex. Each time the hair is lightened, this process happens. If the hair is over lightened, it will have been broken down so much that it no longer contains the proteins and amino acids required to be a physical hair strand. All of these conditions are indicative of extreme damage. For consistent results, always mix lighteners according to the manufacturer's directions. Your mixing ratio will be determined by applications, strength of mixture, and client's hair. Mixing ratio means the amount of lightener product to the amount of developer. Mixing ratio for lighteners can be 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2, or more, depending on the brand. Thicker consistency will dry more quickly, but is stronger. Never free pour or mix lightener without measuring, especially when completing an application through the full head. Free pouring can result in uneven lift and inconsistency due to varying mixing ratios. Always mix the manufacturer's preset mixing ratios and always measure lightener and dedicated developer. Types of lighteners. Colorists can choose from 4 forms of lightener: oil, cream, powder, and clay. Each type has unique chemical characteristics and formulation procedures. Many professional brands carry multiple lightener types intended for different hair types, hair conditions, and scalps. Lighteners can have color added to balance warmth and brassy tones while lifting. Lighteners can also be used alone or in foils, plastic wraps, specialized paper, and various other artistic techniques. Always refer to the manufacturer's directions for the safest, most predictable results. On scalp lighteners, oil, cream, and some powder lighteners, if specified by the manufacturer, are considered on-scalp lighteners. On-scalp lighteners create overall blonding and lightening retouches. Oil and cream lighteners have conditioning agents that allow them to be applied to the scalp with less irritation, in addition to dedicated developers that typically require 20 volume or less for scalp application. Off scalp lighteners. Off scalp lighteners are categorized by powder or clay lighteners. They are strong and fast acting lighteners formulated to lift the hair anywhere from 4 to 7 levels, with some brands claiming up to 9 levels. The ability to lift maximum levels depends on the client's hair type, hair condition, and application. Did you know? Powder lighteners can be mixed with 10, 20, or 30 volume developers for gentle to strong lift, and 40 volume for extreme lift. The latter is not recommended for most situations, and never when you are first learning how to highlight hair. Depending on the powder, lightening brand you are using, and the consistency and volume of developer, it is possible to achieve up to 7 to 8 levels of lift, although it is not recommended to do so in one setting. Powdered lighteners will be our next video. I hope this was helpful to you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, as well as check out my other videos. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.